This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lackens, all about hearing. Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Segford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation. Welcome. What a crowd. Goodness me. Welcome to the DPS Tech Arena for today's episode of Life's a Pitch TV. I'm Mark Murphy. This, of course, is ahead of Ipswich Town versus Fulham at the weekend back at Portman Road. Let me introduce to the team, as always, Terry Butcher, Russell Osman, and Luke Chambers. Also, of course, we have Richard, John and Mark on technicals. And Leslie Dolphin is our floor manager. Has been known to be seen crawling around the floor, actually, at times, but never mind.
Don't go into that, Mark. Don't go into that. No.
That was another show, that one, isn't it? Yeah. Now we're in the Premier League, of course. Isn't it exciting, everybody? We're in the Premier League.
We are Premier League, say we are Premier League. We are Premier League, say we are Premier League. We are Premier League.
Our capacity crowd has doubled in size. Let me introduce you to the Churchman Stand, sponsored by John Keeble Cars in Bramford. And over here, sponsored by Ashford Wright, it is the North Stand. Fantastic. We are on YouTube, podcast, and on Suffolk Sound on Saturday lunchtimes. We've got for you tonight the Table Football Challenge on this day in ITFC history, Ask the Legends Player of the Week, and a whole lot more. But what we do need tonight is a special guest. And it's time to introduce another former skipper of Ipswich Town, our special guest this evening. It's only Carlos Edwards, everybody! Welcome, Carlos. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure.
Finally!
Are we
Finally!
Well, we missed you last season. You had a bit of a bump in your car, didn't you, last year?
Well, so I said.
Yeah.
But so
you said.
But yeah, one of those unfortunate situations.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Well, we finally got you here.
Yes.
Although
yes,
20 minutes late,
yes.
but we'll let you off. Was he late, Chamber, ever in the games, or?
I'll let him answer that one. Were you ever late, Skip?
Yeah.
I think that's why I got the armband in the end.
Well, it's great to see you here. So much to talk about tonight. We'll talk about you, your career, and we might mention Roy Keane. Who knows where we go as the evening goes on. But how are you feeling yourself about where Town are back in the Premier League right now? Couple of tough fixtures we've just had, but a lot of signings. It's a great place to be, isn't it?
It's always a great place to be. It's even a better place to be now that we're back in the Premier League. So, it's a lot of hard work went on behind the doors, and the manager appointing a new manager, and he's got his Harry Potter one out, and and the rest is history. Yeah,
it is quite amazing what's happened, isn't it, over the last couple of years?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's a lot different, mate, isn't it?
Hey? Way different, mate.
We had some fun times, though.
I mean, there's a lot of money, obviously, at the club now, and clearly, while you two were there wasn't much being slashed around, was there?
No, because you mentioned Roy Keane, because he gave it all to Carlos, didn't he? When he first
yeah.
There was none left.
I think I ran out of brown paper bags.
Oh, he's done there, moving on.
Yeah, move on. On to the next.
We haven't seen you to talk about the beginning of the season. So Liverpool, Manchester City. I mean, the toughest of toughest starts for Town, and they haven't disgraced themselves at all, have they?
No. I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone, when they saw the fixtures came out, that they were expecting us to get anything from it. But you just look how the boys portray themselves and, went out there and fought from the beginning to the end. It's remarkable. And they're only going to get better after a while, obviously with the new signings. They need to gel a bit, I think looking back at obviously Phillips, I think it was good that he came and signed when he signed, didn't play in the last home game and then missed, so he had a nice little week and a half to gel with the boys, and I think that was only going to make it a bit better for the boys going forward.
It's always difficult, isn't it, Chamber, when you have a big influx of new players like this?
Yeah, it is, and Carlos mentioned there, I think the first 2 games, I think if we're all sort of answering questions with our head instead of our heart, you'd think they're 2 almost free hits. Yes, you want to go in there and try and take points out of the games, but it's given Kieran obviously a chance to play his players that have got him there, but also continue to add to the squad. Just gives them time behind the scenes, a week in between the first 2 games, which is ideal as well because I spend a lot of time on the grass. But you just need them players to bed in as quickly as possible, and obviously they've got another game tonight, which a lot of changes have been made, we've seen, and it was just excited. The boys will be excited to get their first minutes under the belt ahead of a probably difficult headache for the manager for the weekend.
Chamber, did you ever have a big influx of players? Was it a big influx of players, 2 people?
Oh, huge. They were big numbers back when I was there, weren't they, Luce? We didn't have too many signings that walked through the door, and we were thinking, oh, he might come. And the ones that did walk through the door that you got excited about ended up leaving pretty sharply and not coming back. So, yeah.
Charming.
The habit of telling everyone what they're going to get when they come down, and then they got in the door, and it was the goalpost has certainly moved. So it was an interesting way.
I don't think that's the case now, though. I think that's
no. They know what exactly
suitably rewarded now.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't have many in your time, Russ, did you? Mr. Robson hardly brought anybody in, did he?
What did he do?
14
was it 12,
players,
13, 14
14 players.
over 16 years, was it? So never had the money to spend. But I'm trying to think who his most expensive signing was. I know he spent a little bit on Kevin O'Callaghan and
that was about £5, I think it was.
Well, it's night and day now, isn't it? It's just like the numbers you're seeing and we're reading about. It's like you must be pinching yourselves.
Yeah, and he didn't part with money very easily at all, did he?
No, but I think one of the Dutchmen was like 220,000.
Right.
Mariner 100.
£100,000 for Mariner.
One of the other Dutchmen was 150, and Paul Cooper was a massive 23,000. So yeah, that was what it was.
It's all relative, isn't it?
Do you ever stop and think what?
No, don't even go there.
Okay.
No.
Move on.
Even us now, me and him be like, well, we've done all right.
I know.
Different world.
Don't you pay fantasy transfer fees? How much you would have got in today's market? You must sort of think about that. No?
No.
Oh, we do.
Oh, you do, yeah.
Mine would have still been a free transfer. I'll go on then, we'll take him, he's a good lad.
Manchester City, Russ, we went ahead, didn't we?
We poked the bear though, didn't we?
Yeah.
We poked the bear and we didn't sort of regroup quickly enough afterwards because that's what you got to do. You know, if you're fortunate to nick a goal like that, someone like Man City, and I know they are exceptional, they're going for the 5th consecutive title, aren't they? You know, you've just got to pull everybody tight in together for as long as possible, and make sure you don't make any mistakes
like Muric did. Yeah,
and it was a mistake, but
the howler, yeah. But
you get punished for that at any level, but to do it there under the circumstances, you're thinking all we needed was a quiet sort of 20 minutes. Try and kill the game a little bit, keep the ball, or even keep the ball as far away from your goal as possible for 20 minutes. I know that sounds a bit old-fashioned these days, and they talk about the possession and still playing out, but to suddenly not blow the game, but you've sort of got the initiative for a few minutes, and you thought just close ranks for a minute and let's just be as sensible as we can.
But yeah, we've seen that though over the last 2 years. That's how they want to play. So that's the first. Unfortunately for Muric, it's his first game and he's made that mistake. But that won't be the last one he makes this season, and they'll continue to try and play the same way. But ultimately, all goals are avoidable, but you look at the goals that went in at the weekend. There's so many positives they can take because they're not going to make that many mistakes in a game, and Leaf won't dangle his toe in again like that. So again, they're learning curves in a game that you're probably expected to lose.
But these, I mean, you're playing against top teams. So
you can't give them opportunities.
When we were playing sort of thing, when we went behind or someone scored against us, we then rose another level.
Yeah,
and they're capable of rising 2 or 3 levels, not just one. Manchester City. So, and they have that supreme confidence that they can beat anybody. So, you are taking on the top team, and it's good to get that out of the way. And you can say, well, it's only 4-1. It's not a 9-0 as has happened to Ipswich before, and all these sort of things. So, okay, fine, then move on. But I think the optimism's good. I mean, when you went round the ground against Liverpool, going into the hospitality lounges, and you were at the ground as well, you saw the atmosphere, you saw the love, you saw the real confidence of the crowd.
Yes,
they want to be part of something special in the Premier League, and I think now he's signed more players. You can look at it and say, well, they must be even more confident.
Yeah, I mean, as you rightly said, you're walking around the boxes and you see in the supporters, but even from the get-go, from the outside. I mean, I was down here 9 o'clock.
You're early for that.
I was early. Yeah, I was early.
You're supposed to be there at 8.
I know.
He's balancing out his time. So it's early there, he'll be late here. That's what he does.
I'm still on Trinidad time. That's it.
It's not a bad place to be.
You just feeling the buzz, coming to the stadium, and and you come in the stadium, and it's just something different.
It's great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
You went up with Sunderland, didn't you?
Yes.
Was it the same? I mean, they're fanatical as well, aren't they? Was it the same kind of feeling there, or do you think there's something special going on here? Because that's what it feels like to us.
It's the same feeling, because at the end of the day, it's all about wanting the club and people associated with the club to feel that, the energy. So to say, I mean, obviously it's a different time when I got promoted with Sunderland till now, but I think that promotion and this promotion will stick with the fans and the players and the management staff until. So I wouldn't say it's something totally different. It's it's all to do with wanting the best outcome.
We'd been in such a big dip, though, hadn't we?
Yeah,
for such a long time.
Such a long time.
And then we just got on the crest of the wave,
That's
and I think that's just pulled everybody along with it, which was great.
It's a fantastic feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't as
really
if we'd just been down for a year or 2 years and then suddenly come back up. We had been in the depths for a while.
You could say that, yes.
But so were Man City a while ago.
Yeah.
So they've
also
they've
was
had
Sunderland
their
for a
turn.
while.
Sunderland
and Fulham as well for Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so much.
It's so
more
weird
to go for the club, I think, with the ownership model now and what they've actually got behind them.
You've got to try and break the monopoly of the Manchester clubs winning the Premier League, because they've either come first or second, United or City, for about 85% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Since the Premier League started. Before that, you got Liverpool and you got Chelsea and Arsenal, but not anymore.
At the rate we're going to have a squad the same size as Chelsea, I think, aren't we, the way we're going at the moment? Since we were last on air last week, what have we got? With Jack Clark from Sunderland, first of all. Thoughts on Jack?
Yeah, good signing, very good signing.
Very good signing.
Charlie Woods rang me up and said about Clark. He says he likes him. And if Charlie likes you, he must be very good, I'll tell you.
Didn't like many, did he?
He doesn't suffer fools gladly, no. But he's just phoned up out of the blue just to say, yeah, I like him, son, I like him. He's right-footed but comes inside, but he's better than Grealish in terms of his distribution.
He is.
So you sort of think, well, that's nice. So, but I mean, everybody's interested in Ipswich Town again, and it seems like people like the fact that we're up there and we're sort of favourites, and one of the favourites, perhaps the favourite to go down. But they like the fact that Ipswich are back, because there's so much of a history there and so many good memories.
Our identity is back. Good football inside.
We don't seem to have a difficulty attracting players now, and certainly Chambo and Carlos, when you were playing, that was a bit of an issue, wasn't it? Trying to get people here.
Yeah, and it was. You can't
quality.
Yeah. That's why they're just making up for lost time with all these signings now. So it's just awesome to see. And the players they're bringing in, I mentioned it before, that they're definitely hedging their bets, that they're way ahead of their plans. So the players they're bringing in top championship players. So worst case scenario, we've got a hell of a squad if things don't go to plan this year. And I think that's even more encouraging as well, because then players are all going to get better, especially under Kieran and the staff, that the environment and the culture that they've got at the club now. They're really, really going to improve in their players, and I'm excited to see that, because they're already signing them as really, really good players, and to see them under the pressures of the Premier League and against the opposition they're going to be coming up against. And I think they'll learn a lot tactically as well as the physicality of the league, because being the fastest player in the Championship like Wes Burns most weeks, he's going to come up with a left back that's as quick as him. So where's
the interesting to see how the manager progresses as well, and how his thought process goes.
We don't want him to do too well, do we, really?
No.
That's the catch-22. Don't do too well, Kieran. Give yourself another year or two.
That would be the worst thing that could ever happen to Town. You know, not so much losing players or other people, but losing him, because he's the one that drives everything.
He's the anchor.
He's the anchor, and you don't want another sort of shipping disaster, do you? So there we go.
I think the club is so set up now that I don't think that's an option for him. I think we've got some real power behind us, behind the scenes now, and I think that he's not going to jump ship easily or quickly, and I don't think they'll allow that to happen. So that's another exciting thing to see.
But then he probably doesn't know his best 11 yet. Nobody knows it.
I don't think any of us do we?
No.
Couldn't pick that team tonight.
He's got to get the ones that he wants in, and eventually find a blend. That's going to take quite a few games.
Yeah.
And we might not pick up a lot of points on the way, but when we do, I think we're looking at some of these players, international players as well. You sort of think, well, they've got a right good chance here, a right good chance of being what they were in League One and the Championship, a good cohesive team. No real superstars, but a real cohesive team.
Yeah, and they'll be able to now, what their big strength last season and the season before is bringing 5 subs on throughout the game, and the levels of subs have now gone up again. So again, it's exciting to see, and everyone, as much as everyone loves the players that are here and have been here for a year or two and have got the success, everyone loves the new signing, and everyone wants the new signings in the team. So again, that's another thing for him to sort of manage.
For some of the players that are losing out a little bit at the moment. Look at some of the forums, and there's quite a few names around that aren't in the starting lineup at the moment that would have been. And so, there's a lot of love for those players that got us where we are. But football's a brutal game, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
It moves on. It moves on quickly. Moves on quickly.
Doesn't wait for you.
There's no room for sentiment.
No.
But also the players that will inevitably move on or not play as much or feature as much, they're now Premier League players. So their next move or their next opportunity has gone from here to here. So they'll never be forgotten by the fan base and the club, what they've given. But they'll know as well as anyone else, well, we were playing in League 1 2 seasons ago, so the fact that we're now in a Premier League squad probably dampens the blow a little bit that they're not playing every week, but their professional pride will try and get them back in that team.
Yeah.
But again, they're such a good place now that there might be some outs before the window shuts, and again, we say it's a brutal game, but that is football, and again, if they're not happy playing on the sidelines, they'll be wanting to, okay, we've had this achievement, but where's my next thing, because the career's short.
But those players are playing at a better level now because of being at Ipswich.
They'll go to a Championship challenging side, all the players that leave the club now, and you look at Caden, he's gone and had a great move at a big club like Derby County, and
he's doing really well.
Had we not got promoted or had a season we had in the Championship, that move would have looked very, very different for him. So,
but it seems that with the squad, Kieran balances it really, really well, and you never hear of any trouble, any anger or going in slamming doors when the player goes in and I'm not playing, I should be playing. You never hear anything like that, and there's no players that are like that now at our football club, which is a tribute to Kieran McKenna, that he's this is what you do. Look, you get your chance. You've got to be fit and strong and all these kind of things. So, the players have bought into that. Every player's bought into that. It's just amazing.
And it will be good, because we'll say about a core of a squad, he won't dismantle the core of the group that sets the standards and the culture. So anyone new coming in would immediately buy into it, because that'll be the conversations they have day one. But that you'll know as well as I do that the strength through the team and the squad has to remain the same, regardless of whether they play or not. Everyone knows what their role is any given Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Especially timekeeping as well.
Yeah.
I know I'll be moving before the window shuts.
You're going to get some ribbing.
Who plays in green? Plymouth.
Let's just say that door would have been shut if Roy was in charge. I'd have been knocking on that door for the rest of the night trying to get in, and no.
So he was quite keen on timekeeping, wasn't he?
Very, very. He was. I know a lot of people have different outlooks of him and stuff. Obviously, I have my opinions about him, but obviously, as much as he has negatives, he has a lot of positive. And he always used to say time. He said, if your teammates could be on time, so can you. And he always stresses, it's not disrespect to him, but it's a disrespect to the likes of Russell, Butch and Chamber, because if they can be here on time, I should be able to be on time.
You should be, yeah.
Yeah.
So he learned loads from Keane, didn't he?
That sunk in.
In and out, same time.
I think he survived because he had good teammates that phoned him half an hour ago.
Yeah.
Say, where are you, mate?
Some other signings to mention. Chidozie Ogbene from Luton, down from the Premier League, back in the Premier League. Another good move?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yep. I'll be honest, I've not seen a lot of him, but, you know, sounds like he's got the skill set that we need, and it's good competition for everybody in those wide areas.
Yeah,
he's just got real explosive pace, and if you think Wes Burns is fast, wait till you see this boy.
Oh, really?
His first name is Chidozie. There used to be a Chidozie play who was lightning quick as well.
Wow.
Yeah. Notts County.
There was a game last season he played against Newcastle, and he absolutely destroyed Dan Burn, and it was he's very, very dangerous, and I think that's what we need, especially if we're going to be without possession as much.
Someone who's direct.
Spaces in behind, which will really be exploited quite well, which will open
counter
pockets.
Attack, that's
it's going to be a different way of playing for football for us, I think, this year, and you give Sammy Schmodix a chance. He's off the mark for us.
Yeah, he is. Fantastic, wasn't it?
You can get one or two of them, and then
one shot, one goal.
That's it.
Saturday.
It's not a bad ratio, is it?
Not my ratio, that one thing.
Dara O'Shea from Burnley, another centre half in. Any thoughts on that?
I'll let the centre halves answer it.
I mean, to be fair, as
leave you the fullback.
Russell said, obviously, you need those kind of competition for places, and it's going to be genuine competition, and may the best man or the strongest man get the selection at the end of the day. But that's what you need. You need a bit of competition, because you get sometimes a bit complacent when you're not looking over your shoulder to have someone saying, listen, I'm going to be coming to get your spot, and that's what's needed.
There's 10 players competing for 4 places in the back 4, 10 defenders in the team. So you'd say, may the best man win, but it's about finding that right blend that you possibly can. There's been one or two, well, perhaps one that will go out on loan, but then you have great competition. I think O'Shea would be good as a good player to come out with the ball as well, but to be a strong defender. But I mean, particularly Greaves, who started the season really well. The first 2 games has been excellent. So I mean, it's good to see players betting quick. That's what the first thing you need to have.
Well, you mentioned Greaves. He was your chosen player of the week last week, so it's time now to pick this week's Life's a Pitch TV Player of the Week. It's sponsored by the Dove in Ipswich. So, boys, what do we think? Someone who stood out against Manchester City.
Well, for me, I think Sammy Schmodix, who's actually scored against the champions on their own patch. I think he lit the fuse for them to go bananas. That was a great move as well, and he ran from deep and he slotted it past the keeper. A very, very good keeper, and a great finish. If you can get him in those positions, but we've seen him before. We know what he's like. He's a good finisher.
He will make those runs.
He will do, So I would say Sammy Schmodix.
Okay, he gets my vote because he can't pronounce his name. So,
Sammy. He'll be forever known as Sammy. Carlos, would you go along with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Chambo?
Yeah, I was thinking Schmods before the game. Yeah. But you mentioned the pass. You've got Ben Johnson, who's probably signed as a right back, which is then encouraging again if he has to step forward and play in those areas that he can deliver a pass like that and open up the champions. It was nice to see. But I'm mates with Sammy, so I'm great that he's off the mark really, really quick.
Yeah.
and that would have done his confidence the power of good, won't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I spoke to him after the first game, and he was like, "Do you think I did all right?" I was like,
"Come on, you got him here, didn't you, in the first place?"
Like,
you told him 6 months ago he was coming.
Little cut.
What's he like as a person?
He's real bubbly, like full of character. He's great energy, and he's just desperate to be successful.
Is he an Irish international as well?
Yeah, he is now. Yeah.
Well, with a name like Smodic, he would be.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely.
He?
Polish international. I think. He's a Polish-Irish.
Polish-Irish.
Essex border. He's happy now though because he lives in Essex way, so he's not too far
He's a
away.
local boy, really, isn't he?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, coming back home again. And how much, Carlos? You made that step up to the Premier League, didn't you, for Sunderland? How much were you in awe of playing the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal? Does that factor in that you're playing at somewhere like the Etihad against Haaland and the like?
I mean, it does, but then it always gives you that fear factor also, because you're coming up. The guys that I came up against was obviously world beaters, as they say, but you're in awe of them. But at the same time, you want to stamp your authority. You want to try to test yourself always with the best. 9 out of 10 times, because you're a new promoted team, you get a bit of spanking. But it's not to say that you're just going to just roll over and let them, take it to the cleaners. But it was always, challenging. But you always try to improve every game that you play.
I mean, you boys were at the big clubs week in, week out, weren't you? So it was just bread and butter for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, we were lucky that we stepped in right at the start at that level. I made my debut against Chelsea, and then you were at Everton, weren't you?
Yeah.
Goodison.
You won, I didn't. Yeah.
You went on from there.
Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Memories, eh?
That's it. We lost to a penalty, and somebody in this room gave away the penalty.
So he sabotaged your debut, yeah?
Yeah.
Did I really?
You did, yes.
He put the spanner in his...
It's not like he's held on to that one, Russ.
I mean, clearly that's rankled for quite a while.
Let it go.
I've let it go.
Let it go.
How much years was that now?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, before you were born.
There you go then, yeah.
You're probably late for your birth as well. But
yeah. I'll be late for my funeral.
78. 78, were you 78 or 79?
78. You were 77. September 77. And I was losing day in 78. No.
Yeah. So he wasn't born then?
Yeah, I was a month after.
And your first name?
Yeah.
Akhenaten?
Yes.
Akhenaten? What is that?
Egyptian.
Pharaoh. Have you any relationships with Egyptians, or?
I wish I did.
No.
I wouldn't have been playing football.
No.
I might have been a rich guy.
That's another story for another party. Podcast.
Akhenaten.
Yeah, it's an Egyptian pharaoh.
Egyptian pharaoh.
Yeah. His wife was Queen Nefertiti.
All right.
Yeah.
I never knew this.
No.
10th ruler of the 18th dynasty.
Why did you never tell me
told
this?
you?
Huh? You did?
You never told me this.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
No, like, you know now. Yeah.
Carlos.
And the CM?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to us?
No.
The highest
Carlos
decorative
Edwards,
order of
CM.
CM.
CM?
What? There's a MBE?
Yeah.
MBE? CM.
Charcornia medal.
Oh, the Chaconia medal. Oh, that was...
That.
Strap in,
Oh,
fellas.
no.
Come on.
Jeez.
Gold standard.
That was...
Gold standard as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Chaconia gold medal is the second highest medal in Trinidad. That was awarded to all the players that qualified for the 2006 World Cup.
Okay. Well done.
And you played every minute of Trinidad and Tobago's games in that World Cup. There's only 3, but you played every minute, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then you played against England
Oh,
as well.
Yeah.
And you were right back against England.
Yeah.
Were you beaten when because you did really well?
Yeah,
so held on, and then the
really well
Crouch
late,
scored.
yeah.
Crouch scored late.
Yeah.
Did he beat you in the air on the far post?
Not me.
Wasn't you?
Not me.
Rings a bell.
No. It was...
You weren't late for that cross as well, no?
No. I think I was up on the halfway line. That was, it was Brent Sancho, who was defending Crouchy at the time, and I think he complained that he had dreadlocks.
Yeah.
So he complained that Crouchy pulled his head so he couldn't head the ball, but
Should have gone to VAR.
I know.
He probably did though.
But then Stevie Gerrard scored a wonder goal.
Oh, that was a peach of a goal. Playing against England, obviously Lennon came on and he totally changed the game for England, and obviously Gerrard just put the cherry on the top with that second goal. Absolutely.
But that game was watched by about 700 million people worldwide.
Bloody hell.
It's incredible.
I think those 3 weeks we were in Germany, was it 3 weeks in Trinidad and Tobago that didn't have no crime?
No crime.
Even the criminals was watching football. They put aside all their differences just to watch football.
And Ken Wynne-Jones played. Did you went to school with Ken Wynne-Jones?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Big striker, isn't he? Yeah.
Very big boy. To be fair, it's it's just obviously sad that he finished. But yeah, I played with Ken Wynne. Went to college with Ken Wynne. Had the opportunity of playing with him at Sunderland for a couple of years, and obviously with the Trinidad and Tobago team also. So yeah, it's
because you had some good players in that team.
Yeah, we did. You're looking back at, we had the likes of Dwight, Russell Latapy, Big Marvin Andrews, who used to play
Marvin,
for Jason, Stern John. We had Big Shaka in goal. And I mean, when you do look, and we had a bit of mixture of some of the local players back in Trinidad also, because obviously Mr. Beanhacker he just didn't want to just pick all the boys from overseas and stuff. So he had a nice mixture of local and a bit of foreign-based.
Mr. Beanhacker, that's very respectful.
Listen, he is Mr. Beanhacker.
Oh, God, yeah.
He is, how to say, he's like a McKenna. He came to Trinidad and waved and just got the Harry Potter one. I don't know where he got it, but
how do you describe Roy Keane then? Is he Mr. Keane?
Roy.
I must say, what a great place to go on holiday. Trinidad and Tobago. Wow.
What's it like when you go back? They roll out the red carpet for you and crown and that.
Great scuba diving.
To be fair, when I go back, I put my head down, because it's everyone. When people see you, Trinidad, it's like Christmas is like every day of the week. When they see the likes of me or any players,
like that with me.
No. But yeah, it's they won't go to the extreme. I'm very, how to say, home. Late and home, because I don't like anyone to see me out and about. So if I do go back, it's just see my mum and dad or whoever siblings I got there, and just when I'm ready to leave, I leave.
Did you when you were at the World Cup, did you get any shirts? Got some good shirts? Who'd you get?
Ashley Coles, Freddie Youngbergs.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Got a story here from Kev Baker.
Oh, God.
I have a great Carlos story. Can you please ask him if he can remember sitting with us at the end of season dinner in 2013, and my mate decided to throw a whole ladleful of gravy down his own shirt while serving his food up. Carlos was laughing uncontrollably. He later on told us he has some great shirts that he gained over the years when he swapped with players. He proudly said he had a Messi shirt, to which I pointed to my mate and said, so does he. And the story goes on. Remember that?
Yeah. Obviously I got Messi's top from an auction, so that was a nice piece for my collection also. So yeah.
Can we talk about your time at Town? So how did the move come about?
Didn't like Steve Bruce. He didn't like me, and I said I'm heading to Suffolk.
Excellent.
Yeah. No. It was one of those situations where obviously Steve Bruce came into the club at Sunderland, and when new managers comes in, they want to bring in their own players, and he didn't really give me a look in to give me an opportunity to show him what I could offer. And I think it was just right after the first game of the season, we played Bolton away, even though we won. And I think he left me out the second time. They played Stoke away and they lost. And straight away, obviously, Niall Quinn was phoning me up over the weekend to say, obviously, Roy is interested in bringing you to Ipswich. And I went, listen, I'm not going to get a chance with the manager, so I might as well, just move on, because I didn't want to just sit around. And as obviously Luke was mentioning earlier, obviously you already give your time, got the club promoted, so it's about what next for me. And the opportunity came to come to Ipswich, and that's how it came about.
So by that time, were you like a definite right back? Because you played further up as well, didn't you?
No. I was still on the right midfield or the left midfield. It's only later on in my career I kind of pushed back. I wish I had done it way before, because I really enjoyed my time playing as a fullback.
Luke enjoyed his time at right back very much as well.
Yeah. So I mean,
I learned from you.
We could have shared it. So, but yeah, it was always me as a midfield. I think I just love to run up and down the flank. So you just clear the M25 for me, and I'll go up down.
Up in the gates.
Yeah. I always remember that last minute winner at Derby away.
Oh Jesus!
That
was mad though, because just before us, about 20 seconds before, it's 0-0, and silly me, because I got the long throw and I went for the long throw, it slipped, and they counter-attack, and you got Mick McCarthy
He's going nuts.
Absolutely tearing me a new one at the sideline. And I'm like, oh God.
But we got battered that game as well.
Oh, mate. I always say to everyone, people say, oh, you remember that goal? I said, yeah, you didn't remember us getting absolutely battered for about 85 minutes.
Mick ran in, didn't he?
Call the police.
Down the tunnel. Call the police. There's been a robbery. And the Derby were going mental. I think he was rowing with Richard Keogh at the time, and they were trying to fight in the tunnel.
It was too much. It was too. It was too much. But yeah,
come on, big noses.
Here we go.
Yeah. Honestly,
you're going to talk us through the goal.
Yeah, and sorry. Yeah, and and it just happened. It's Gay. Gay just intercepted in the middle, and obviously pushed, and obviously the floodgates just open up for me, and it's only one at that time. It's the 93rd minute or so.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna pass it up, and
hit it.
Had
smashed it.
Crack. Yeah, there you go.
How far was it? 80 yards?
Nah. 20.
28.
I said 22.
25.
Yeah.
Scotty Carson done you a favour though.
Yeah.
You did flap it a bit.
long way. Oh yeah.
Great memories of obviously being at Town.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was a bit of money around. Roy Keane had a bit of money, didn't he, from Marcus Evans at that point?
Yeah.
So why couldn't he get us up? Why didn't it work for him here, do you think?
As a manager,
tell your truth, Carlos.
No, I would go back. As a manager, in his instance, not much players. It's just like managers will ask other managers about players. The same. Players will ask players about managers. And that's how he couldn't get the players that he would have liked, because a lot of people couldn't work under him. I've seen it at Sunderland, and it ruined a lot of people's career, because he just couldn't put aside certain differences to agree to disagree with certain things, and I think that's why he couldn't get the players to go to that next level.
So it was difficult attracting people to come.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But you'd obviously experienced it, so you knew what it was like.
Yeah. I jumped from the pot into the fire from Sunderland to Ipswich, and I'm thinking, oh God. And a lot of people ask this question, why you signed for Roy Keane twice? I said, yeah. I said, I know how to deal with him. He's an individual. He loves confrontation. He wouldn't get that from me. He could say whatever he wants. I'll be like, all right. If he's looking for an argument, he's the wrong person to come to. Never get it. And I think that he strives on that. Because a few players, Pablo, Johnny, which a lot of us know and heard about, and there's other few. He's even at Sunderland, it's the same thing. So it's, they said leopard don't change his spots, does it? At the end of the day,
Was it? I mean, he was a great player. Was it because he he expected that kind of greatness from other players, and when he didn't see it, he couldn't understand why they couldn't do the kind of things that he did.
I mean, you're looking back at. I remember that season when Jake Livermore signed for us on loan, and I came in the stands, and Tottenham under 21s were playing Ipswich reserves, whole thing, and I was looking at the player, and I was thinking, bloody hell, he's got something about it. A week later, he signed, and obviously we got to get to know each other and everything. And I asked him, he said a lot of clubs was interested in him, and he could have gone to Leeds, and he could have gone. And his words were, he said, one of the best midfielders in the world wanted to sign me, and I thought I would have learned a lot from him. He said it was the biggest mistake he ever made, because it's like he's expecting all of this, that he could learn a lot to elevate himself to go to the next level, and Roy didn't.
Just couldn't cut it as a manager.
Exactly.
The man management is completely different from earning your respect as a player amongst other players to then being in charge of a team, and you have to treat people a lot differently then.
Yeah, there's a lot of things said as players that you just move on from in the heat of battle. Whereas once something's said from the guy that you're looking at for the answers, there's a different way to handle those situations. And I think he spoke about it openly in his defence, that he would have done things a lot differently, and he's learnt a lot from his mistakes, and whether he goes back into it again is another side. But ultimately he did do things right, else you wouldn't have other players signing for him for a second time. So he brought success for you where you were, and like you say, you thrived under his management at certain clubs.
He, as I say, he has his ways. I think maybe over the years, you never know, he's changed a bit, tweak a few things that maybe if and when he do get back into management, that you don't do the same mistake.
I spoke to Didsy McGoldrick, and he used to go away with Ireland, and he was like, Keano's an absolute ledge. He's so relaxed, he's a nice guy, and he sort of saw a completely different side to him.
I don't think Mick McCarthy would have called him a ledge, to be honest.
Well, absolutely. But then Didsy would have said Mick was brilliant. Again, it's his experience of working with each individual person.
Judging by your laid-back demeanour, were you ever booked at all? Did you ever get a yellow card?
I got sent off twice in my
career.
Yeah,
for being late.
Just a couple of late tackles.
No. Yay.
Come on.
Yay.
There it is.
Back of the net.
No, what one? Oh yeah.
What was it then?
One, I punched a guy in the face.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And there was the last man back. Just against one of our former players, also former captain, Chuck Norris.
Chucky.
Yeah. I was just like,
just had to go, did he?
Just had to
Who
go.
did you punch?
That was early in my career against Wrexham. We were playing. I can't remember who the hell we were playing against. I went into a tackle, and honestly, and one of the guy absolutely mauled me. To be fair play to him, but the ball, they counter attack it, and then I was trying to get up. He's face to face with me, and I went. The same time, the referees, because the ball is going to their goal, he's just happened to just look back. And my fist was just going to his face.
Wasn't Clive Thomas at all, was it?
It happens, doesn't
it? Nah. Just one of those days.
It happens. It happens. Right, okay, we need to move on because time's moving on. So it is time now here on Life's Pitch TV. So this section sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. It's Ask the Legends time. Okay, so here's a time we love. Terry not so much, but the rest of us do.
We don't.
When we have normally Simon from Seckford Golf Club. We've got Tony here from Seckford today to ask a question of our two legends, Terry and Russell. So Chambo, Carlos, you can help or hinder them, whichever you want. Okay, you can help or hinder them with this. And I think, Russ, you're 3-0 up at the moment, aren't you? Is it 3-0?
Certainly am.
Okay, move on.
All right. Move on. So Tony from Seckford, you have the question. What's the question?
Well, the question was going to be, who had the foul on Terry Butcher's debut at Everton?
But But that's gone now, hasn't it?
Absolutely stitched Tony up. Do you need another couple of minutes, Tony?
So anyway, no, that wasn't the question really.
I love it. This is good.
So it's about Paul Mariner, who obviously you know. Paul scored 3 hat-tricks for Ipswich Town, but how many appearances did he make?
Ooh, okay. So 3 hat-tricks for Town. How many appearances did Paul Mariner, and there's a picture of him here, how many appearances did he make for Ipswich Town? Nearest guess. Do you want to go first, Terry, or second?
Second.
Okay, Russ. How many appearances did he make?
169.
Okay. Terry, you're going higher or lower?
I'm going higher.
Are you? Would you want to pick a number?
Would you say 169?
In your own time.
Yeah. 169
170 then. That's higher, isn't it? For goodness sake.
That's good.
Yeah.
I could say 5 million.
Anybody in the well, you'd be way out then.
Nothing.
Anybody in the audience
This
have
is
a
league
guess?
appearances all.
202, I hear. Any others? About 170.
211.
Okay. Tony?
You tell him.
339.
What was it?
Wow.
339. Which means a point for Terry Butcher!
He didn't get that.
It's a comeback.
It all starts now. It all starts now. So yeah, 3-1. Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much.
Tony, you can come next week. Bomb Simon out. He's not coming again anymore.
Right, it's time now
Your
though
3
for
lessons
our
gone.
Table Footy Challenge, and this is sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not sure Carlos knew that we did this. So let me just explain, Carlos, what happens, okay? So every week, our guest, that's you, has 60 seconds to see how many goals you can score against our 2 England internationals, that's Terry and Russell over there. And on top of the leaderboard at the moment, with 5 goals in 60 seconds, is Chambo. But there is a little asterisk against there because we're still checking that. We think there was a little bit of foul play going on. Last week, Jason Dozza got 1, and the week before, Walkie got 1. So this is your chance to see how many goals an international match, Trinidad and Tobago versus England. Come on, Carlos Edwards and our legends. Okay, so your balls are in the end. I suggest you get your balls out, ready, in each end, ready to drop them down there.
I better get the ball out because
You got them down there, Carlos.
it's surely it's fair on.
And then you just chuck them in there.
Where is it?
You can't put the ball in and then he's got.
Okay, would you like to put the ball in to give our... Yeah, there's loads down here. There we are.
No!
Give them to Terry and he'll pop them in for you.
We'll put them in very slowly then.
So, on my whistle, no spinning.
No.
Jambo, no spinning. Okay.
5
to beat.
goals.
5.
2 to beat Walkie and Dozza.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? On the referee's whistle. Oh, it's a cagey game at the moment. A cagey game. Carlos playing out from defence. Yes. Bit of a Muric clearance there, I think. Yeah, no, it's. I think this could be a 0-0, I think. Oh, good shot from Carlos Edwards. Well done, but it's back at defending again. But see, I tell you what, the England international defenders are not doing very well at the moment. Oh, no. Oh, good shot from Carlos. Spinning it. Oh, it's 1-0 to Terry and Russell. Drop that ball in.
Can we put minuses on the board?
Spinning's allowed. Go on. Spin if you want. It's 1-0 at the moment to Terry and Russell. Come on, Carlos. You've got about 15 seconds. Let's get an equaliser. Is it stuck in the middle at the moment, in no man's land?
Did the earth move for you?
Here we go.
Good defending.
Oh, dear. 2-0 to Terry and Russell. Well played, Carlos. Well played. Fantastic. Now, a lot of town fans do some amazing things for charity. Lisa's here. Do you want to come up to this microphone, Lisa? Because you're doing a walk, aren't you? Come and tell everybody. Get right up close. Come on, that's it. Closer. I know it's a bit tall for you, but stand on your tippy toes. Tell everybody what you're doing.
On Saturday, we are going to be walking before the game from Colchester to Ipswich for MND. So for the Marcus Stewart charity. So
fantastic. How many of you are doing it?
About 16. I'm sweet lady, apparently. I've got to take all the sweets.
Okay.
And at the moment, we've raised about £5,000.
Wow.
The Supporters Club has given £1,000 towards it as well. And we're going to be auctioning off a shirt on the day and also going to be gathering donations again on the day as well. And there is a URL code, so I'll send that to you for
okay, we'll put it on
the
our
Just
Facebook
Giving
page.
It'll be fantastic, Mark.
Brilliant. Well done. What a great cause as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's obviously close to everybody's hearts because of the Marcus Stewart situation anyway. But yeah, genuinely, it's a really good cause. And so we're hoping to raise probably £7,000 to £8,000 if we can.
Brilliant. Well done. Give them a round of applause. Everybody takes part. Fantastic. Time now for our On This Day in History, Ipswich Town related, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics.
Right, on this day in history, we're going to go back to the 28th of August 1965. Peckham-born David Harper became the first Ipswich player to appear as a substitute. He replaced Frank Brogan in a 2-0 defeat at Charlton Athletic. Also, on the 28th of August, this time 1982, Bobby Ferguson, replacing town legend Bobby Robson, celebrated his first game as manager with a 1-1 draw at Brighton and Hove Albion in the First Division. Also, on the day before, just a bit of poetic license here, the 27th of August, something quite interesting happened. Ipswich's day turned sour despite claiming a point at Old Trafford in a 0-0 Division 1 clash. A thief broke into the visitors' dressing room and stole Roger Osborne's false teeth. And all that is taken from Dan Botton's book Ipswich Town on This Day. History, facts and figures from every day of the year.
Very good. I remember that 1-1 draw at Brighton because we had to wear a shirt, tie, jacket, obviously, to go to the game. So we stayed in the hotel in Brighton, and I didn't wear a tie. I wore a bow tie, which was quite unusual in those days. So I wore a bow tie. And Bobby Ferguson went absolutely ballistic. He had to take it off, and he had to borrow a tie. He nearly ripped it off my neck. Amazing.
That's the last time you wore it, wasn't it?
That was the last time I wore it as well, yeah. So never wear a bow tie when you go into a game.
Did you often have dress codes like that when you went to games?
It was just shirt, tie and jacket, yeah.
Right.
Oh, trousers, of course, and socks and all that.
Useful, yeah. What about you boys? Or is it a bit more cash in your times?
No, we had a spell, didn't we? Suit and tie.
Yeah, oh yeah.
100%. Yeah, Mick was big on that, to be fair.
Right.
Yeah. So when you're swanning about, was it?
That's me now, swanning.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by Roger Osborne's false teeth.
I think he had his front two whacked out, or his front four whacked out early on as a player. And they just must have been in a jacket.
No one's been in a nick then. One of the lads has had them away, haven't they? What are you, probably?
eBay.
You think it could be an inside job?
That's an inside job.
Inside job?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at you two now, just to sort of see if I can.
No, definitely not me.
I wouldn't touch his teeth, I tell you. No, but you do play pranks and things like this.
It's the equivalent of nicking someone's mobile now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hiding it for a few hours.
Yeah. So who were the pranksters in your days then? Who were the...
Mariner.
Yeah.
Walkie to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Us. To a certain degree.
Yeah. Brazil was always good for a laugh, wasn't he?
Brazil, yeah.
What sort of things did you get up to then?
If there was money involved, Brazil was there. So I think any bets.
There wasn't a lot of mischief, but going back to what the lads were talking about earlier, respect for the manager. I mean, Brazil would have a fallout with the manager if he wasn't in the starting 11. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not playing then. No, you're on the bench. I'm not on the bench. I am off home. And he would just storm out. Time and time again, wasn't it?
So that was a regular occurrence, was it? Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's regular, but it did happen a few times. Yeah.
Who are the jokers in the pack with you two then? And what can you tell us?
Jimmy Bullard.
Of course, yeah. Go on, spill the beans.
Yeah.
I got stitched right up when I joined. I got put in with Michael Chopra and Jimmy Bullard for 3 weeks. We're in the lounge and I'm on the FaceTime to my missus catching up. I'd not been home for a few weeks. And I'm laying on the sofa like one of these actually, and he's come walking behind me, stark naked, and just stood there and started practicing his golf swing.
Is that what you call it?
Hi, Jim.
Listen,
my missus goes, "Blooming hell, Jimmy! Last time I saw you looking like that was at Ocean Beach in Marbella." He soon scarfed it off.
What about you, Carlos? Was that difficult with Roy Keane in charge? Was it a bit?
No, to be fair, Roy obviously it was different, but obviously in Ipswich, but obviously went at Sunderland. He just used to leave the senior players to take care of the changing room and stuff like. But he will always encourage the boys to go out and have a few drinks. Obviously not, but just to get to know each other a bit more. Not just in the training ground, but outside of the training ground and stuff like that. But the guys used to get up to a lot of crap, to be fair.
What sort of things?
Guys will, honestly, there's some guys will just take your car keys and they would be living an hour away. And when you think you're going to find your car keys to get home, you got to call a taxi because your car is going to stay at the compound after training and things like that. Guys used to just do some crazy stuff. It's like why would you?
There's a guy called David Cross at West Ham, big striker, on a striker. So he had a sunbed. He lived right at the other side of London from West Ham. So he had a sunbed. So this young boy was going on holiday. He's about 17, 18, and he said can you give me any help about going on holiday and a suntan and all that sort of thing? He says, I've got a sunbed. He says, you want to come over to my house and get your pre-tan going and get yourself a little bit brown? And he says, yeah. He says, I'd love that. He said, but it's right on the other side of London. He was an apprentice and he was only on a little money. So he had to go all the way over. He said, come round tonight. So he went all the way over. And David Cross said to him, now look, he says, you first time on holiday? Yeah. Never been in the sun before? Not really, no. Right, you got to take it really easy. He says, you got to take it really easy right from the start and then you can build it up. He says, a minute. He says, you got to do a minute. He says, really, a minute? He says, yeah, but it's very dangerous. You know all about cancer and all that sort of thing. So he got changed and put the glasses on and he's laying on the sunbed. And then after a minute, David Cross comes in. Right, that's it. Off you go. Come on. So the boy used to drive all the way back. So then 2 days later, the guy says, do you think I can increase it? Yeah, come on over. So he comes on over. So he does 2 minutes. And what was happening was David Cross was telling all the players, he said, look, really, I've got him going here. Just tell him, wow, you're brown, you're really tanning up really nice. So all the players were telling him, wow, you're really brown. You've got to be very careful now, sort of thing. And he's like this, looking like this. So he goes for 3 minutes, and then for 4 minutes. He eventually builds up to 10 minutes. And then he finds out that this is a big cod. He's whiter than he probably was before. So, yeah, I've heard that one before.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, it's time now to just mention Ipswich Town's women. Another win for them at the weekend, so doing very well. Well done. In league action at Exeter on Sunday. Time for the Man v Fat results. A new season kicked off at Goals in Ipswich this week, and the guys tell me they got off to a flying start with a group loss of nearly 5 stone in weight, the Man v Fat boys. This week's top loser was Lawrence Gilbert, who's actually a Pompey fan. So can you congratulate Ben Fisher instead, as he's a Blue? This week's results. Galatasaray 13. That was my favourite one, this one. Galatasaray 13, the Red Cat Funts 9. The Red Hot Chubby Fellas 10, Borussia Mönchengladbach 13. The Ivory Toast 9, and the Wycombe Waddlers, he hasn't given me a score for. So we have to wait to see how the Wycombe Waddlers did against Ivory Toast.
Who's our favourite? Which one? Everybody, which one?
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, I like the Funts.
What are they called again?
Please, no. Let's move on. Can we?
Come on, Funts.
Can we have a shout out for a few of our great teams from the past? Who can remember Fatburn Rovers, Ham Saladice, and Aston Griller? The future is now. Come on, you Blues. That's from Man v Fat Mark. Well, that is it for this week. Carlos, thanks ever so much for coming in.
Did you get a?
Oh yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yes, the programme, the first home game of the season. That was the programme cover, wasn't it? Fantastic.
Kindly donated to us, one for the studio and one each for myself.
That is absolutely brilliant, and that's from much love from Call Me Ted at Call Me Ted ITFC at Let's Go Bernard. So we're going to get that framed and put up on the wall.
That's great.
And I hope they're going to do more of these for the season ahead. So that's brilliant. So well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Put that on the wall. So, brilliant. Back in the Prem, it says on there. Carlos, enjoy this? Had a good time?
Yes.
Yes, 100%. And I honestly, I would love to come back.
Hey,
I would obviously love to come back.
Yeah.
6 o'clock next time.
5 o'clock, I'll be here. I'll open the doors.
We're going to tell you an hour earlier next time, so get you here on time. So
honestly, tell him it's Tuesday night next
honestly, when I saw the number, I was like, Chambers phoning me. I was thinking, all right.
This must be serious.
You all right, bro? He said, come on then. I was like, come on then. Like what? I was like, oh shoot! Like honestly, I was like.
He was telling me it wasn't tonight. I was thinking. I was asking Butch if we got it wrong.
I lost track of time. I was just sitting in the back garden, and then the missus was like, "Oh, I need to go buy a cake for my niece." I said, "But that's not my job." I said, "That's your brother's job. He should go and buy the cake." And when you phoned me, I was buying the cake. I was thinking, "Oh no!"
Well, we got you here.
We got him here.
You are welcome anytime. Carlos Edwards, everybody. That is it for this week. Keep in touch with what's happening on our socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those kind of things. And if you want to be part of the Capacity Crowd, have you had a good time, everybody? Yeah! Excellent. Head to livetopitch.tv, click on Capacity Crowd, and you can apply to be a member of the crowd on there. Don't forget, we're also plugging Neil's book the other week about George Burley. That's going really, really well. Details also on our website about that. Fulham at home on Saturday. Russell, score prediction?
2-0.
To Town?
Yes.
Yep. Terry?
2-1. And I must say, it's nice to see Emma Beattie here today.
Yes.
Daughter of Kevin. Lovely to see her.
She was hoping to just sneak in and watch, weren't you? But yeah, it's lovely to have you here. What do you think, Carlos? Predictions for Saturday?
2-1 Ipswich.
Okay. Chambo?
Well, I was going to go 2. I'm going to go 3-1 Ipswich.
Good man. Well done.
Kevin Beattie score.
Yep. And as always, as I'm behind Beattie's bar, I'm going 3-1 Town. Okay? 3-1 Town. Thank you, Capacity Crowd. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back next week, and there's just one thing to say, and that's Blue Army!
Army! Army! Army!
This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, All About Hearing, Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.